Hey, welcome back to another episode of DudeWutPodcast. I'm your host, Harry D, and I am joined once again with my best pal. It's Mr. Callum Hamby. How the hell you doing, bro?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How's it feel? Once again.
Yeah, man. So you like fully stepped forward and were like, yeah, I'll help you out this week, because I actually was supposed to have an episode with our friend Ben Thorne Williams, you know, sort of cryptocurrency guru man. And we were going to do an episode all about that sort of thing, but a few things came up, and it was sort of like, last minute. And I asked Callum, and he was like, "Hell yeah, man, let's do an ep." So it might be a little bit of a shorter one this week. I don't know. We tend to ramble quite a lot, so even though I'm saying that now, I bet it'll still be like a 2-hour pod or something. But Hamby, what have you been up to this week, bro? How you been?
As you said that, I literally bit into a Yorkie. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I just saw that. What flavour? Is it normal Yorkie or is it biscuit and raisin you got there?
Biscuit Yorkie.
Yeah, they're the best, man.
Sorry, man, that was really bad of me. No, I had a really good week. Good and bad.
Yeah?
My dog's full on entering peak testosterone, and he got a whiff of a dog in heat. And
yeah.
Drove. I sent you pictures.
Yep.
To say he went crazy is an understatement. He was trying to escape. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shredded his blankets. He was literally dented his crate door. Yeah. So he's all right now. But yeah, Jesus Christ, he went absolutely nuts. And on Saturday night, we all hung out, which was pretty fun.
Yeah. Saturday night. So you guys came up to mine. It was you and Tomo, and we just hung out. We drank some beers, and we watched a load of really old YouTube videos that we used to watch when we were younger.
We were watching YTPs, which I haven't watched for a long, long time.
Yeah, the early one. All of them were 10 years ago uploaded and stuff.
We were just taking it in turns to be play this video.
Yeah. It was good. We haven't... It feels like it's been genuinely years since we've done something like that. Watching that sort of video as well, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. How about you?
No, not a whole lot. So I was going to mention that we hung out, which was obviously really fun. We had some tasty food, although it took...
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. How long this food took to prepare. So we didn't go to a restaurant or anything. We went to I don't really know how you'd describe it. It's sort of I always say it's it's similar to an ice cream parlor, but rather than having ice creams in the the serving things, they've got curries, and they basically just scoop out what you want and you take it away cold. So if you go I want that, and that, it should really take a couple of minutes. Granted, we went and it was a big order because we were ordering for 3 of us, and I ordered Fia meal. But we were there for 45 minutes, something like that.
50 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was I don't know. I'm not gonna say it because it is a really nice restaurant. It's a really nice takeaway.
Yeah,
really nice. And it's really reasonably priced. But fuck me, they just took ages. And
yeah,
it was
this
did. Guy was doing one thing at a time.
Yeah, I may or may not have called him a clown.
Yeah. And it was oh, we'll have some samosas, and then he's gone for 15 minutes cooking some samosas. It's
yeah.
Okay, and then comes back, and it's okay,
what's next?
I don't know. It just felt like everything took ages.
It did. It took so long.
And originally, he wasn't even going to take our order because they ran out of the normal boxes.
Yeah.
He was oh, we can't do it.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm still sort of fuming about that. I was talking to my manager at work about it because that place is genuinely or at least for the last year or so, has been my favourite place, my favourite food place. And I'm still down to go, but it's I can't be bothered to go now because unless I call ahead or something, I'm just not. I don't want to do that again. It's not even the first time that's happened to us, is it?
No, it was not quite that bad last time. It was mainly because Tomo was loading up on shit, so it was just his lassies took an extra 20 minutes to make.
Yeah.
But I think it's because it's good food, so they can get away with it. It's a popular place. Yeah. It's a popular place, and they obviously know that.
Yeah, and we didn't want to we didn't want to kick up a fuss, but that didn't stop other customers from really
that
kicking
lady,
up a fuss.
That girl, and I don't know if it was her mum, but somebody, some of relation to her. They were both not happy.
They were kicking off.
They were they were they were having like an argument in I don't know what language they were speaking.
Yeah. I think the guy serving felt a little bit embarrassed. Like I don't know. But yeah, great food, poor service. So next time I'm gonna ring ahead. Like next time I go, I'm definitely gonna call ahead and be like, have this ready at this time. So we had some nice food. We had some beers. We hung out. Other than that, working, and I've been watching the new Reacher series on Amazon Prime, which I'll get to in the news thing that came out. Watching that with Fee, and just sort of taking it easy. We had a late night on Saturday. Sunday, I didn't really do much, but I feel like I went to bed too early. So today, it almost feels like I'm still recovering from Saturday. I'm just tired, man, really tired. Which is why we've started this podcast a little bit early, earlier than we usually do anyway. Yeah. But other than that, man, that's my week. I mean, Zeph, for anyone interested in the general dog chat that we do pretty much every week, Zeph's getting much better. He had all of his dinner tonight. Fee made some really, really good mashed potatoes, and we just sort of mixed in a load of mashed potato with his food, and he loved it. So, he's definitely on the mend from his sort of illness thing, I think.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, defo, man. You still slamming that Yorkie, bro?
Just finished it.
Okay, I was going to say, I bet like when I'm editing this later, it's genuinely going to be like...
It doesn't look too bad on the thing.
Oh, you're seeing the sound waves.
It doesn't look too bad. Because I bit into it like really like carefully. I was like, okay, it's
maybe.
Okay.
So usually I try to edit down any big sounds or something, but I think I'm just going to leave all that in there so we can genuinely hear Hamby just chomping on a Yorkie bar mid podcast.
It was only a little small one. I've eaten it now.
Oh, you've got another one. You've got another one.
No, that was it. That was it.
Oh, I thought that was another whole Yorkie.
No, they're only tiny. To be fair.
Yeah, to be fair, like Yorkie is one of those chocolate bars that it's very easily overlooked. And then when you actually have one, you're like, damn, this is good.
The Yorkie fruit and nut, that's like king.
Yeah.
King chocolate bar.
Yeah. It's weird because the normal Yorkie is just solid chocolate. But like, what makes it different from other chocolates? I don't know.
It's nice chocolate though. It is nice.
It is.
Chocolate.
It's real good. Yeah, real good. I had a really weird bar of chocolate today. The B&M over the road from my work sells things really cheap, and they sell things like crazy discounted prices. So. They were selling those drumsticks chocolate bars for like 19p for a whole bar. Have you tried that?
No.
Yeah, like it's interesting. It's nice chocolate, but on the inside it's sort of like a creamy raspberry flavour, but it tastes just like the drumstick. And as someone who loves drumsticks and the squashy things and stuff, like it's pretty nasty, man. Like,
yeah, it doesn't sound very
I couldn't finish it, and I am always the first one to finish a bar of chocolate. Like, I genuinely couldn't finish it. It wasn't so much the creaminess; it was more like the sharp raspberryness that I genuinely didn't like. With the chocolate, don't work for me.
Sorry, I know we're just talking about chocolate. I'm really not a fan of I like Turkish Delight on its own, but I don't like the Turkish Delight chocolate. I'm
right with you there, man.
I like Turkish Delight, but yeah.
Well, I hate the Fry's Turkish Delight.
Yeah.
That chocolate coat. That's nasty. I hate the Cadbury's Turkish Delight. That's nasty. But if you give me a box of genuine Turkish Delight,
delicious.
Like the little sugar coat, man, love them.
Yeah.
I have a theory on this, right? I reckon it's because whenever you have like a chocolate Turkish Delight in this country, they always make it the rose flavored Turkish Delight. Which, in my opinion, is the worst flavour of Turkish.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree.
Swap it out with an orange or a lime or something, Don't know, the rose is the nastiest one.
Rose, I know, I never understood that. It's like... I don't understand why it's the main flavour is rose.
Yeah.
But actually, it's one of those things. I don't like the gooiness in the chocolate. I Like it's just not nice.
Yeah, I think it's because also when they put it in the chocolate, they make it like softer, almost like when Cadbury does it. It's almost like a caramel texture.
Yeah,
And that's not nice. Yeah, I like the solid, not solid, but like squashy little cubes
with like the icing sugar on top and all
That's
that
it.
kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
man. Yeah. Hell yeah, chocolate bars. Love them. Kinder Bueno kind of guy. What's your favorite chocolate bar?
My favorite chocolate bar.
Yeah.
It's got to be a double decker.
Really?
Double deckers. I'd say double decker or actually like the fruit and nut, either fruit and nut Cadbury or fruit and nut Yorkie.
Yeah.
I like the fruit and nut. I like the texture. But yeah, I definitely double decker. Double decker is.
I think
the
double
king.
deckers are damn good, but they are a messy chocolate bar. They are crumbly as anything. You eat a double decker while you're sat down with no table or anything in front of you. Half that's going on your trousers.
Yeah.
It is like you don't think it is, right? You think like maybe a flake. That's a messy chocolate bar, right?
Yeah.
But a double decker crumbles way more than a flake does.
I don't know. I just think it has the perfect combo of everything. It's got the nougat. So basically, what it is, it's essentially like the nougat from a Mars bar with like the biscuity whatever it is on the bottom, but without the caramel. And to me, that's perfect. So I'm not actually a massive fan of the caramel.
Yeah, I do love the double decker. I gotta say, like I said a minute ago, I'm a Kinder Bueno man.
It's okay.
I love the thin wafer with just the normal one, not the white or any of the coconut or anything like that. Just the normal, the white with that sort of like nutty cream stuff in the middle. Love it.
One more thing, one of the most underrated chocolate bars is Lion bars. Like,
yeah, man,
they're damn good bars, but like no one ever buys them.
Yeah, I love. I think it's because the packets are always really like crappy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Lion bars. They do like a salty and sweet Lion bar, which is delicious.
Yeah.
They also do like a blondie one, which is delicious.
I've seen
But I tell you what, funny story about a Lion bar. So when we were in college, I bought a Lion bar from like one of the vending machines or something, and I bit straight into it, right? And it was so cold that I fully cracked a tooth to pieces on a Lion bar. Yeah. I mean, I've got like notoriously like soft teeth or whatever that crack, but yeah, a Lion bar destroyed my tooth. So I don't tend to eat them as much, sort of out of fear, but I do enjoy a Lion bar for sure. Yeah. They make that Lion bar cereal as well. I always thought that was weird.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's tasty, but it's weird.
But you wouldn't have it for breakfast, yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, sugar overload, like, first thing in the morning. Hell yeah. To be fair, like, I actually don't eat cereal anymore.
I just have a bit of Weetabix. That's literally it.
The last time I had a bowl of cereal, this was before Christmas, last time I had a bowl of cereal, I don't know if it was the cereal or the milk, but I felt sick as fuck, like, right after eating it. And now I do, like, I mean, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I've cut out the dairy. I don't do the dairy anymore. Because it just makes me feel like crap now. It's weird. Like if I even just glug some milk, I'm feeling like crap. I don't know why. Never used to. So yeah, I'm done with the milk, done with the cheese, and it's tough for me because I love cheese, man. Like,
you got to have cheese now and again, Christmas and shit.
Now and again. Yeah, if it's I think my rule is if I'm at a restaurant, fine, but if it's just at home, I don't do it anymore. Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of our cheese and chocolate chat over with. I think we should jump into everyone's favourite segment. So what are we drinking?
What are we drinking?
Hamby, I already have seen what you were swigging just then.
It's a boring one.
It's a favourite of yours, isn't it?
It's every week, but actually, it's also just left over from Saturday. We didn't end up drinking on Saturday. And I think you had a bottle of it, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually quite liked it, yeah.
Pound and Minchie Hell. I should probably get some different ones, but I just really like this. It's just nice lager.
Yeah, like, it was nice. It had a, I think I liked it because, I was actually hoping you might have left one in the fridge. I thought, maybe he's left a beer in the fridge. No, he took them all.
No, sir. One of them cracked in
my
car.
I liked them. I liked them because they, it tastes like a lager, but it tastes a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit different from a normal lager.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's not got too much to it. I was drinking them all Saturday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, going down very, very well.
Yeah, nice. Went pretty well after that curry actually as well, which not a lot of, some beers really go with curry, and some just do not. But that one went
It's
quite
got to
well
be.
with them, I
It's
thought.
for curries. It's got to be lagers. Don't know why.
I don't.
Whenever you
I'm
drink
not 100% on that. Not 100% on that.
I am 100%. Like, it's not my favorite beer, but it's not my favorite beer at all. But when you're in like an Indian restaurant, like a pint of Cobra just goes down really well.
See, Cobra is one of my favorite lagers anyway. I think it's absolutely delicious.
Singer?
However,
Singer the one?
Singer is one, yeah. However, what I'm drinking tonight, which is actually, it featured on an episode, probably early episodes, probably like episode 1 to 10, somewhere in there. This featured on, but I would be safe to say it is my favorite beer. It's a Jaipur. Now, you had one of these on Saturday night because again, this is left over from Saturday.
Yeah.
This, I think, not just because it's got like, an Asian-y name or something. This goes really well with the curry because it's like, it is an ale, it's an IPA. It's 5.9, it's fairly strong, but it just has such a, like, I don't know, the flavours just like slices straight through, and it's almost like after you've had a bite of curry, it just like cleanses your palate sort of in between bites. But it doesn't make the beer taste weird, and it doesn't make the curry taste weird when you go back to it.
See, the thing with the reason why I say like lager is good for drinking with curries is because drinking curries is because it's like it's not very hoppy. It's not got much to it really. It's more just literally just a refreshing drink. So if you are stupid enough like I am to order something really spicy, and then get halfway through it and regret it, like a nice pint of Cobra is really.
Oh
really
yeah,
nice.
I'm fully there. Like if I'm out having a curry somewhere, it's a pint of Cobra or something. But Jaipur, it's delicious. I'm gonna crack it, take a swig. Oh, Jim. I'm gonna crack it, take a swig, and just give you my reaction. I guess you already know what I think of it.
Tasty.
Very tasty. A little bit of froth going on, but it's not covering me. Nice. Damn, every time I have one of those, it's almost like I forget how good it is until I taste it again. It's absolutely delicious. It is my favourite beer. It's so nice, it's strong, it's hoppy, if you have it straight out the fridge, it's crisp, it's incredibly refreshing. What did you think of it when you had one the other night? You said you hadn't had one before.
I thought it was nice. Like, it was very hoppy. I find a lot of those kind of beers very similar. Like, you know, like the sort of stronger IPAs that you get in the cans, the ones that are made from like Beavertown do a lot of them, I think, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I find them a lot. So they're all nice, and I do like them.
So I think this is in a can, but usually I see them in bottles. I mean, they're usually in the smaller bottles, but they've just started doing them in the 4-packs, the cans, and my local Asda does like 2 4-packs for £9, which I think is pretty good actually, because they usually cost about £2 each usually.
Yeah.
So if you can get them in a little bit of a deal, great. They're so good. I just love it. Delicious. All right. Let's end this little segment here, bro.
What are we drinking?
Nice one. Well, Hamby, when you're on these episodes, there's only one thing that comes after what are we drinking, bro? It's Hamby's ham bone to pick.
He's pissed off, he's angry, his name must be Hamby. It's Hamby's ham bone to pick.
Oh, I just really hate the ice in the car. But not just like
you launch straight into that one, bro. Like
when you de-ice the car, right? And some mornings it's really, really easy. Like it's like you don't have a car. So,
no, but I definitely help. I definitely help feed de-ice hers in the morning. Yeah.
Some mornings it's like putting a knife through butter. But then I don't know what happens is sometimes when it rains and then it freezes. I don't know if you had that before, where it's like literally like chiseling off ice. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I you literally just have to like chisel it away and leave your car to defrost for like 10-15 minutes on its own. Yeah. I fucking hate that. So there you go. That's my hamburger.
Yeah, man. Well, That's a good one, man. That is a good one because it is annoying, isn't it? Like if you don't allow enough time to do that, you're screwed. Like you have to. It's one of those things that you genuinely have to do, like before you know. So what is it that you shouldn't do? Is it that you shouldn't like chuck a load of boiling water over the windscreen or something?
I think they say not to do that because like it cracks the windscreen, but I see loads of people doing that. I've never done it myself because I have
Just
this like I have this spray and I just like chisel it away. But what I've seen some people do is they'll get like a plastic bag and they'll fill it up with like warm water. And then they'll just rub the plastic bag over the windscreen.
I've seen that as well. I've seen them sort of like dab it on the screen, and it like completely melts it.
I mean, I wouldn't. I have literally seen people chuck like a kettle onto the car.
Yeah.
And I just think like that just looks kind of like it would go wrong, but
yeah. Well, there's only one way to find out, bro.
I'm not trying on my car. Hell no.
No, that was good, man. That genuinely is something that is irritating. And I imagine a lot of people will agree with you there and be like, yeah, man, fuck de-ice in the car. Isn't there something you can... There must be a product you can put on it that stops anything like that happening. Must be.
I mean, I guess you could put like antifreeze on your windows, but then I guess the problem is that it would rain and it would all just come off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess in theory you could, but like I don't know. In practice, no one does it because it's not worth it.
Yeah. No, fair enough, man. That was a pretty good ham bone to pick, bro.
He's pissed off, he's angry. His name must be Hamby. Hamby's ham bone to pick.
Okay, so everybody knows this podcast always contains a bit of entertainment news. It's actually what I've got listed as like the main point of the podcast. It says, Harry and a mate talk about entertainment news while drinking some beers. So, it wouldn't be the same without it. Now, this week, it's been sort of slow. Like, my usual sources were just totally dried up. There was like nothing there. Or what was there was loads and loads of information about like Asian cinema, like Chinese cinema and stuff, which I do mention, but like obviously it just doesn't relate to me as much. And these stories are always things I find because the things that interest me and stuff. So that's why talk about them. But there are a few. So first one is, as I mentioned earlier, the new Reacher series is now on Amazon Prime. I think I've actually been mentioning this for quite a few eps now. Like I remember there was an ep before Christmas where I'm saying, cannot wait until Feb 4th to watch this thing. It was on the episode of Favourites because I said that Jack Reacher books are like my favourite books. Yeah, I'd probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, really been looking forward to it because it's supposed to be a lot more sort of faithful, an accurate representation of like the character and who he is and stuff. And I loved those Tom Cruise films, but as I said in the episode of Favourites, like the character is supposed to be like 6'5", and Tom Cruise is not 6'5". I mean, they make it work in those films, but this guy, I think he's a guy called Alan Ritchson, and he is an absolute unit. Like he's fucking huge. The dialogue is great. So I'm 6 episodes into an 8-episode series, and me and Fia just hooked. It's one of the reasons why it's like we've got to get this podcast done a bit quicker so we can watch a bit more Reacher tonight.
Yeah.
Very good. Really would recommend someone check it out. The only thing I would say is if you're not that familiar with the source material, it can come across a little bit like American cop cheese. But it depends. If you like that, you're going to love it. So check it out. Reacher on Amazon Prime. It's out now. Next little bit of news. It's a rumour. I don't really know if it's 100% confirmed, but it's a rumour that the actor Sam Rockwell, who was in the second Iron Man film as the character Justin Hammer, a sort of Iron Man character but for a different company that's just like not as good. He's rumoured to be returning as his character Justin Hammer in the upcoming Disney Plus series Armor Wars and Ironheart. So that'll be pretty interesting. I know he was actually kind of a fan favourite because he's like a very charismatic actor, and I don't know if you remember Iron Man 2, bro. It's literally like not one of the best ones at all.
Yeah, I remember it. We watched them all recently, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, he's Justin Hammer in that, and he's just quite a cool, like, funny character. So it'd be cool to see him back. Next little bit of news, something we spoke about on the live stream, if anybody watched it. It is that... Big sneeze there, Mr. Hambus. It is that the Red Hot Chili Peppers have finally released a new single, the first single since 2016, I believe. And it's got the one and only John Frusciante back. It's called Black Summer. It's out everywhere now. Now, I've got this thing where like I listen to something, but I hate listening to it too many times. I feel like I get like really fatigued from songs very quickly. So I've been trying not to listen to it too much, but I've listened to it about 4 times today, maybe like 5 times yesterday, 5 times the day before that. Like, I'm listening to this song a whole lot. Hamby, I know you've heard it. What do you think of the new Chili Pepper track?
Yeah, the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, this is a bit weird. It's I don't know, it wasn't really what I was expecting in a lot of ways.
So is that because, and I'll say this for everyone, there's probably a lot of people who listen to this podcast who maybe aren't that big of fans of the Chili Peas. They're from California, obviously, but in this new single, Black Summer, Anthony Kiedis, the lead singer, for some reason, in the verses, has decided to go with sort of like, I don't know, like an Irish, Cornish twang.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it's just a bit strange on first listening, I think.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. But then, yeah, once the song gets going, it's good, and I do like it. I think, I don't think it will be the strongest song on the album, or
no, it won't be.
Single
no.
even.
They wouldn't release the strongest song as a single.
But no, I think it was good. It was catchy. Like the guitar sounds really, really nice.
Yeah.
Like I think you said, it just sounds like a continuation of previous albums, really. Both, the last 2, but also Stadium Arcadium. So it's cool.
Definitely.
It's a cool single.
It's very cool, and like it brings a smile to my face every time I listen to it. And the first sort of verse chorus ends, and then Frusciante comes in with that like mid-song solo. Love it. Just so happy to hear that sort of music again, because he went off and did his own thing, which was very cool, but it wasn't like that, you know what I mean? And then his backing vocals kicking in as well. It's great. I love it. I genuinely can't wait to see them now. I'm even more
1st of April, I think this album's coming out.
1st of April, the album comes out, yeah.
Yeah.
Titled Unlimited Love, which I actually think is a pretty cool name.
Yeah, I thought it was a weird name for an album, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I guess it's what I heard is that every track or something is supposed to be like it's supposed to tackle something, whether it's like environmental or if it's like, how they see the world and stuff. I don't know, I just get this, very cool. You always get the sort of much love vibe from the Chili Peas, and I guess now they're just like, fuck it, let's jump straight in. Unlimited love, everybody, I mean, Flea literally has the words love and love tattooed on his fingers, so like,
Yeah.
Next little bit of news. Now, this is a bit of an update on the Spotify Joe Rogan versus Neil Young situation. Now, me and Hamby spoke about it a little bit on Saturday because genuinely interested in this topic, can see sort of both sides of the story. Now, Hamby, you told me that Spotify had removed they'd actually removed some of the episodes. I sort of dived in, did a bit more of a deeper dive on it. And yeah, it turns out Spotify now have actually removed 113 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. However, it's not anything to do with the whole Neil Young thing. So what actually has happened is that a video has surfaced online within the last week of him basically just using loads of like racial slurs, and loads of like actors and big names and things have come out and said like, we are not supporting this guy, almost like backing Neil Young without actually having anything to do with that, and because of it, basically like overnight, without saying anything about it, Spotify have removed like literally like 113 episodes. That's a lot of hours of listening, a lot of hours of work of his that's now gone.
Yeah. So I think he released a video on his Instagram where he basically apologized. He basically apologized and claimed that it was taken out of context, which I don't know. I can't comment on because I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen every single episode of the Joe Rogan podcast.
I haven't seen it, but I think what the video that surfaced was actually, it was like somebody had made like a super cut of like all of his sort of like racial slurs. So they're all out of context. As far as I'm aware, they're all out of context, but he's saying a whole lot of nasty stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's difficult for me to say anything on it because I don't know the context. So, but obviously, like, using that kind of language isn't really, it's not
just not acceptable,
smart.
really.
It's not particularly smart or acceptable, yeah. So.
It's definitely not acceptable when you are a podcaster of his caliber, you know, like highest of the top of the chain, biggest as it comes. You know, I mean, he's having millions of downloads per episode. A lot of people are like, you know, listening to him. And although you're a podcaster, you got your own. Everyone's got their own ideas and things. Like, just doing stuff like that is just not acceptable.
Yeah. The one thing that is weird to me is that like all that stuff has existed on either on YouTube or on podcasts on Spotify for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Like why is it only now like people are now sort of saying, wait, like we need to delete all these episodes? Like how, like when Spotify bought the podcast, like surely they must have like combed through everything Joe Rogan had ever said just to cover their own backs.
You'd hope so, definitely. You'd hope
that's
so.
That's what's weird to me.
Because it's so close to this whole Neil Young thing and that, it looks as if they've done it in response to the, you know, this whole thing going on. Because since then, I said in the last bit of news last week was that musician Nils Lofgren had pulled his stuff. Well, since then, we've now had multiple podcasters, multiple big names have now pulled their music, and there's talk of like even bigger names like Foo Fighters and loads of other bands and acts are all saying like, "Now we're getting ready to pull our stuff." Basically,
I honestly do think it'll die out in a week or two. I think a lot of these things are people sort of saying that, oh, you know, like, because you know what I mean, like bands like Foo Fighters and stuff, like their record label is not going to want them to pull out of Spotify because it would just be you'd be losing money.
I think though that I think you're right, and I think partly the reason is because these removal of episodes have happened so fast. It looks as if it's done in response to that.
Yeah,
so I think that, you know, removing a huge chunk of Rogan's work from the podcast, from this platform, I think that's acceptable. You know what I mean? Like
what I would say, like I do listen to I've listened to Joe Rogan for a number of years. I don't listen to all of his episodes.
Yeah.
And I generally do like the way that he talks to people, and he has people of differing views. I think the thing that I've noticed a lot more over the last couple of years especially is that he has tended to drift more towards people on the right wing kind of thing. Like he definitely does have more of those kind of people on these days. And you know, like that's fine, you know, like he's allowed to have who he wants on and they're allowed to have their opinions. But I think I would definitely enjoy it a lot more if how it used to be, where he did genuinely have like a whole like the reason why most people love it was because like he'd have people come on who were experts in certain things, or you know, really really prolific, you know, actors, comedians, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like you'd be able to like explain things, you know, very very well, and he's very very easy to talk to, I think, with that kind of thing. But I've noticed over the last year or two, especially with COVID.
I mean, for someone who knows of him but hasn't, I mean, I think I've listened to maybe 2 episodes in total. It just doesn't interest me, is why I don't listen to it. But
yeah, I mean,
for someone looking on the outside, it looks as if he is like, you know, one of these like. The impression you get from him is that he is one of these like anti-vax, right wing kind of guys.
I don't think that's entirely fair. Like I think the thing that. Sorry, I know we're spending a while talking about this.
All good.
I think the weird thing is that I don't know if he's actually ever said if he's been vaccinated or not. I'm not sure. Fair enough.
I read a quote. I read a quote from one of his podcasts earlier. It was on a news article, and it was something like, if I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something like, if you're 21 and you're asking me if you should get vaccinated, I'd say no.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's ever said if he's himself has been vaccinated.
Yeah.
But I know that he's had I don't know. It's difficult. It's one of these things where like he's I don't know if he's fully anti-vaccine or if he's just very skeptical, and I don't.
Yeah.
There is a difference. Either way, like I do think he has had more of people of that kind of opinion on over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people are a bit more upset with it. But then I don't know. The flip side of it is that the flip side that I've said before is that people say things that you might disagree with, like.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, I don't know.
I think what we're going to have to do is just keep posted with this story kind of thing. I imagine there'll probably be more updates next week that I'll be able to bring to it. But yeah, interesting stuff.
On the final thing, like I don't think Joe Rogan is going anywhere. He has about I think it was something like each episode averages around like 11 million listens, which is like literally on par with TV shows and things like that. It's by far the most popular podcast. So
I don't think he's going anywhere, but no. I think that I think for some musicians, the fact that a lot of his work is being removed is, like I said, I think that's good enough. However, you know how sort of cancel culture is these days. There's a video of him saying a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have said, and a lot of other people have been fully dropped for for less than that. So we'll just have to see how this whole situation sort of how it goes, because this is new this week. This whole new thing, and like I think The Rock has put a tweet out saying like, "I backed you, brother," or something. Basically like. I used to really support Joe Rogan. Now I don't stand by anything he says, and not that I don't know what The Rock's got to do with any of it, but
I've got no idea.
That's what I mean by like more celebrities and things are coming out and sort of denouncing him now. Anyway, we'll bring more Joe Rogan Spotify news next week, I imagine. Next little bit of news: Tom Holland, everyone's favorite actor in the world, has said that he wants to make a Jack and Daxter film. Jack and Daxter is like a beloved, would you say like early 2000s video game?
Yeah, it was on PlayStation, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a Sony property.
Yeah.
This obviously, I think he's promoting the Uncharted film, which I think is out like right now or next week or something. It's out very soon. So he's now saying, look, he wants to do this, which I think... and we're going to get to Tom Holland a bit later on in this podcast. But, that's the news. He wants to star in a new Jack and Daxter film. He wants to produce it. Come on, Sony, make it happen. Said nobody. I just... No, thank you. Not for me.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Jack and Daxter, so... I probably won't be watching that movie if it ever was made.
Yeah. Me either, bro. Me either. Last bit of news now, and this is something that is quite interesting. So a show just came out this week on Netflix called Murderville. I don't know if you've seen it pop up or you've heard about it or anything.
Yeah, it's a copy of Murder in... no, there's a British show that it's basically...
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, it's sorry, I'm gonna just Google it real quick.
Yeah, Google it, man.
It basically like years ago, and it was. I'm really sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Murderville. It's set off Murder in Successville. So there was a show.
Okay.
There was a show on a few years ago on the BBC called Murder in Successful, and the main guy is a guy called Tom Davis, comedian. British comedian, it was. To be fair, I watched a few episodes of it, and it is pretty funny. They basically have like it's the same thing. They have like people. He's like the detective, and they have like actors who come on and play them, either play like parody versions of themselves or that kind of thing.
So I might actually look into that, right? Because I'd never heard anything like the reason why this made the news this week is because I think the concept of this show, it just sounds great. So if there's like a, if there's like a British version of it.
Yeah, I don't think they came up with it.
No.
The British version. I think there's only been a few seasons of the British version, but yeah, I saw this advertised, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, look at that! It looks really cool." And I was like, looking at it, I was like, I've seen that show before."
What it is, it's the guy who I can't. Oh, it's Will Arnett.
Yeah,
big American comedian. He was in. He does a lot of voiceover work. I think he was Batman in Lego Batman movie. He was BoJack Horseman and stuff like that.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Basically, yeah. The concept for this show is it's obviously a cop thing. Will Arnett and the rest of the surrounding cast all have their scripts, have their lines. Each week, Will Arnett is paired up with a different celebrity partner. But that partner has no script and does not know anything that's about to happen. So they've got to sort of like just improvise the whole thing. And like that sounds pretty funny. It sounds quite interesting to me. So I'll be checking it out. But yeah, it's new on Netflix now. I looked it up this morning. It's right there. You can check it out. Murderville. And I'll be looking up that one you said as well, Hamby.
Murder and Successful. Yeah.
Yeah. It just sounds cool. Like there's a lot of cool looking guests. There's some like I don't really give two shits about Conan O'Brien,
No.
but there's some cool looking actors and comedians on there. There's that Kumail Nanjiani, comedian who was in that Eternals recently. He's quite funny, and Sharon Stone's in one of the episodes, I think. So might have to check that out. But yeah, Murder. I was going to say Murder in Success. No, Murderville is out now on Netflix. Check it out. All right, that's the end of our little bit of entertainment news this week. Now, the topic of this podcast is, or it will be something like this. It's going to be things that need to stop, or things that just need to stop, ... Now, this was like, as I said, this was a very last-minute thing. I was supposed to have my good friend Benny on. Plans fell through, unfortunately. So I said to Hamby, I was like, "Mate, help me out, bro. I need a guest host. What about?" And I've got like a list of topics, and I sort of glanced through them. I was like, they all require a bit. And what about things that just need to stop? And Hamby was like, "Yeah, got it." So I know you haven't got any notes or anything, bro. That's totally fine. I dropped this on you like very last minute, but I managed to get some things written down, and I thought maybe we can just chat over these. Just have a little bit of a debate about it.
Yeah.
So, I've sort of split it into movies, music, and games, but I think I'm going to jump around rather than just stick to like one thing. Now, I mentioned Tom Holland earlier, and I said we'll get back to that. Something that needs to just stop, in my opinion, is Sony need to stop casting Tom Holland in absolutely everything they have now. Like, yeah, he's a great actor. Yeah, he's a young guy and is probably going to have a really long and successful career. So they want him throughout his career, basically, to be making movies.
But he's going to... Sorry, go on.
No, carry on, bro.
He's going to undoubtedly do better movies than Uncharted. Like, as good as Uncharted's probably going to be, like, he's probably going to do, like, some very, very good movies.
But
in his
it
career.
seems that he may as well just have Sony tattooed across his forehead, because he is Mr. Sony now. And, like, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, cast someone else. They blatantly only cast him in Uncharted because he's, like, a bankable name right now. And it means that they can lock him down for future installments of that franchise for the rest of his career. They're trying to make it like a mega franchise. There's so many other actors that would have... Like, I really like Tom Holland, right? He's fantastic as Spider-Man. He's a great young British actor. But don't cast him as Nathan Drake. Cast someone like what's that guy? Is it Nathan Fillion or someone who actually looks like Nathan Drake?
It was a weird one, I know that, like, it's a different thing, like movies and games and things. But, like, he doesn't look anything like him.
He doesn't. Anyway. And also, like, it changes the dynamic massively, because although, they're going like, well, he's young Nathan Drake. Like, no, they should have just gone straight into it. Cast it. I think Nathan Drake's in his, like, late 30s in the games.
Yeah. There's a few... I think there's a few bits where it's like Young Him Younger, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, there are.
memory.
Yeah,
but,
definitely.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. And as well,
Well, like
I
I said before on a previous pod that there is actually a fan-made film. I think me and Tomo actually watched it on an episode of this podcast. But there's a fan-made film where Nathan Fillion like plays Nathan Drake in it, and it looks fantastic. It's actually a short 5-minute YouTube film, but like it's almost like they based Nathan Drake on Nathan Fillion. He looks exactly like the guy. He can do it. Like, why? I just don't understand it. Sony, stop casting Tom Holland in things, man.
And it was also when I went to see Spider-Man. It was only like a few weeks ago. It was so blatant. They were like, "Oh, like people who watch Spider-Man will probably go and watch Uncharted because of Tom Holland," because that was like the main advertisement before the movie.
Yeah.
Like I know that when you went to see it, it was a few months ago before they started advertising.
There were still there were still trailers for Uncharted.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, but I was like, oh, it's so blatant that it's like, oh, like I get it.
I feel like he is going to be Sony's like mascot in real life for the foreseeable.
The weird thing with it is that fair enough, he's young and he's like, he's nowhere near reached his like prime yet as a as an actor. But like he's gonna be in some very, very good movies, I'd suspect, over the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah. For his career, yeah.
Yeah, like why Spider-Man's obviously what's catapulted him into that.
Yeah.
Like, why is he doing movies like that? It's just weird.
Yeah, I mean, especially seeing as I reckon now he said, I want to do a Jack and Daxter film.
Yeah.
Sony are going to be like, hell yeah, Sony. And it's just like, yeah, literally. And it's just like, no, stop. Because if they keep going, they're almost going to ruin his career.
Yeah, exactly.
People are going to be so sick of seeing Tom Holland in things. They're going to be like, nah, and Mark Wahlberg as Sully, just bad casting. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching Uncharted because I'm a fan of the games, but I'm not going to the cinema to see it or anything. I'm going to wait until it comes out.
I remember a few years ago when, like, Chris Pratt first started being in all the Guardians movies, and again, like, obviously a really, really good actor, and and he fits it perfectly. But like, there was a period a couple of years ago where he was like, or a few years ago, I say a few, like 5 odd years ago, when it felt like he was in like every single movie, and it was like because it was the Jurassic Park ones were coming out around then.
Yeah.
There was something else as well. I just remember thinking, like, it's every single movie got Chris Pratt in it.
Well, it's got to the point now. It's got to the point now where Chris Pratt is a meme because he is in everything. Yeah. Especially with this whole like Chris Pratt going to be playing Mario in Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, come on, what the hell? I'm surprised they didn't cast Tom Holland in that. Yeah, man. Sony, just kick back for a couple of years, cast some other people in your movies, then bring him back. Let him be free and do some other things. But yeah, that's my first one. My next point is something we actually chatted a little bit about on Saturday, which is where this whole idea of the things that just need to stop comes from, and it is old bands doing the exact same thing over and over again need to just stop. Now, and you said, well, like what? And I said, like the Rolling Stones, man. Like, great band, fantastic discography, great careers, great, musicians, but you just pay now. You pay so much money to watch them play the same songs that they did, like, literally in the 60s. And if they do release new music, you can't distinguish it from the old stuff, other than the fact that Jagger sounds a bit older. Like, it's the same shit over and over again.
And as well, like,
I love the Stones, right? But they need to retire.
So the thing is, like, if you're like, say, I was in like my 60s, and I was like, or older, and I was like, I really like Rolling Stones are one of my favorite bands. Like, loved them since I was young. And I went to a Rolling Stones gig. Like, I would not care about their new stuff. I'd be going there to listen to the stuff that, like, they made in the 70s and stuff that was like that's their most popular stuff. Like, nobody cares about your new stuff. Like, you know what I mean. And I guess you could say the same about a lot of bands, but
So you said to me, you said, well, dude, like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Like a lot of, I like the Chili Peppers, but like a lot of people do not like them.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of people hate them, and I said though, although you know, I'm going to defend them because I'm a big fan, right? But the thing with the Chili Peppers is they've almost got like a distinct change of sound in every like era of the band, and you know, when from like 2007 onwards, after John Frusciante had left, the new albums had a completely different sound. Even between the two Klinghoffer albums, you know, I'm With You and The Getaway, both had different sounds. It was like a natural progression of their sound. So I'm saying that is fine because they're at least mixing it up a little bit, doing something a little bit different. Even their new stuff, it doesn't sound like they've gone back to the old ways. It sounds like we said earlier, it's like they've managed to like mold their new sound with aspects of their old sound. They're evolving their sound, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Other bands are not. They're literally doing the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
And this brings you can tie in my next point with this, right? Because it's technically the same point. A band I love with my whole heart, man. System of a Down. Hands down the ultimate heavy metal band, in my opinion. I grew up with System of a Down. I loved them at a young age. I've listened to their albums like thousands of times. I just absolutely love them. But the one thing that needs to just stop is they need to stop fucking touring, because they're still touring now. They are still touring, and they haven't released an album since like 2006 or something.
Really? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Like, and you're still touring. I'm not gonna pay, as much as I love you guys, right? I'm not gonna pay probably like 70 quid to go and see you guys when you can't even be bothered to write some new music. Like, granted, they did release a new single about last year sometime, maybe early last year, but that was in response to this whole thing that was going down in Armenia, whole political thing, and they released a single to raise money. They made that very clear, like, we're not back, we're just raising money for this thing.
Yeah.
The song was about their homeland, and it was like a deep, meaningful, like, political song. But it got people so excited for the new system, and they just didn't bother. And it's like, I don't know. It just bugs me, man. It needs to just stop.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. With going back to the Rolling Stones, we're just piling on them. It's weird because, like, I think I said on Friday, I was on Saturday, even. It's like they're all like multi-millionaires, like, you know, they're incredibly wealthy. They're all like in their 80s now. Like, I don't know. I just think, like, what for start. I mean, fair enough. You know, they like making music, obviously, but I don't know. You're in your 80s, like, you just think.
I think what I would have thought. Yeah, well, what I would have thought would happen is, like, they probably only play now because they really enjoy it still.
Yeah,
which is fair enough. So I would expect them to play smaller gigs, but they're still playing like stadiums and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, man. I think like they need to just need to just retire. You know, like, as harsh as that sounds, I'm a big fan of the Rolling Stones, right? But like, they need to retire.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm burping. I'm drinking so much of this Jaipur. I almost finished this can. I've got one more downstairs. I was saving it for tomorrow night, my last day before a day off, but I might have to hit it tonight. Okay, so we're on music, right? I'm just going to stick with music. This next point is something I would be interested to hear your opinion, right? Something that I think needs to just stop is I think they need to stop releasing music from posthumously, is that the word? From dead artists, basically. Stop releasing music from artists that have passed away. Because, right, and this is my theory, as much as I love Jimi Hendrix, right, or as much as I love David Bowie and people like this, right, I feel like when they release an album of unreleased stuff, I feel like it's almost a spit in the face of that musician, because the way I see it, right, is if Jimmy wanted to release that stuff, Jimmy would have released it. You know, the fact that it's unreleased means that he did not want that out there. He obviously didn't feel like it was good enough or something. And I feel like it feels like a cash-in from the family. And I don't like that, man. Like, that whole new album of Bowie's stuff. You know, some people are probably like... I don't know if you heard about an album called, like, Toy Box came out a couple months back. A new Bowie album.
I didn't see it, no.
Well, a new Bowie album came out, and I think it's got some, like, different versions of songs on there and stuff. But they're, like, finished songs. They're not, like, unreleased demos. They're finished songs. And like I said, if Bowie wanted to release them, Bowie would have released them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just feel like they need to stop. Like, they bring out almost a new Hendrix album, like, every 2 years.
Yeah,
like,
they do. Yeah.
Different mixes and stuff. And it's like, just stop, man. Stop messing with that.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that, because I feel pretty strongly on that one.
I don't know. Like, we're kind of split on it. Because there's that Hendrix song, Is It Here My Train A Comin', or whatever it is, which is a great song. Isn't that?
Yeah.
That was released posthumously, I think.
So, I'm not sure if that one was actually... I think Hear My Train A Comin' might have been an alternative mix.
Oh, is it?
The one song off that album that wasn't released before was Somewhere.
Yeah,
which
I remember.
I love it. It's a great song. That's what I mean. It's like, I'm torn by it as well, because I will always listen to New Jimmy, right? But it kind of feels wrong. You know, like, I'm psyched to listen to it. But like I said, if Jimmy must have thought that his playing wasn't great on that track or something, because he would have released it.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
artists like Jimmy didn't die before he hit the top.
No.
You know, he was big while he was alive.
Yeah. I think I probably agree with you. I do agree with you. Yeah. I think it is probably mostly from the families just wanting to make some money.
I can sort of understand it in, like, for example, Mac Miller. Now, he's a guy that I don't really listen to very much. I think I've heard one album recommended to me by my good friend Mr. Ash Penman. Hey, Ash. I'm pretty sure there's a Mac Miller album that got released after he died, because I think he was, like, working on it up to the time of death. So I think in that case, like, he would have wanted that out. You've got to release it, you know, like, that's what he was working on. But someone who's been dead, like, 50 years or something, like, that's just the estate, that's his grandkids or something, like, going, let's give him some cash, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it needs to stop. Don't like it. Let's jump it back over to movies. Sorry if I'm taking the reins here a little bit, Hamby, but I thought, you know, if I just blast through these and you can sort of say what you think on them. Movies, something that needs to just stop is rebooting things that have only just finished. For example, the upcoming Batman film with Robert Pattinson in it, right? I think looks good. Down for it. Like the Batman. Kind of like Pattinson, actually, as an actor. I think he's a cool dude. But I'm getting sick of Batman, right? Which is something I never thought I'd say, because I love the games, love the character, love the comics and everything. But I'm just... And even Fee said this in the cinema when we watched Spider-Man and we saw a trailer for Batman. She was like, what the fuck? More Batman stuff? You know, like... people are going to be sick of Batman. They keep doing it. You know, like... Yeah, granted, The Dark Knight Rises and stuff came out a while back now, but we've had the Batfleck Batman stuff since then. There's been loads of news of Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman, Affleck's coming back. There's loads of people coming back, and now they're doing this other Batman thing. It's too much, man.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I said to Tilly, my girlfriend, I was like, you know they're going to reboot Lord of the Rings one day.
Yeah, man.
She was like,
I'm praying that I'm long dead before
they
that happens.
I think it will be way sooner than that. I reckon it'll probably be in the next, like, 10, 15 years. I think they'll reboot it.
Okay, I think you're right, probably the next 10, 15 years. I thought you were going to say less, and I don't think it will be, because I think that Amazon are making this Lord of the Rings show
Yeah.
so that they don't have to, so that nobody has to remake those films. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're doing it to do a whole new thing that can have things made, because the Lord of the Rings movies are untouchable. But yeah, they're going to be remade at some point.
100% they will be. Yeah, 100%.
And I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Yeah.
They might be cool, but like, you just can't touch the originals for me.
Yeah, but there's money to be made. New audiences. Yeah.
Tom Holland as Aragorn.
It will be.
Tom Holland as everyone, and Mark Wahlberg as Gollum.
Throw Chris Pratt in there somewhere as well.
Yeah, Chris Pratt as the Balrog or something. Hey man, what's going on?
Yeah, and my girlfriend was a bit upset when I said that, and I was like, I'm being serious, like 100%
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
Of course they will. Yeah, I'm hoping, like, I mean, those films are 20 years old now. I'm hoping it's at least another 20 years before they get rebooted.
I don't think it will be.
No, it won't be. It won't be.
No.
But yeah, things that have just ended do not need to be rebooted. There's already enough. I mean, talking about the Batman stuff, because that's the one thing that really came to mind. Like I said, it's just ended. Just leave it a little while. Let people rebuild their anticipation for that character. Oh, where's he gone? Let's have this back. Let's do this. Don't just be like, oh, here's a new Batman straight away, and then a new Batman. It's just like, oh,
yeah,
man. Yeah. All right. Got a few more points. Another one. This is pretty random, actually. It's pretty random, and I thought of this today. One thing that needs to just stop is massive deluxe editions of albums. So, I love it. If you give me a deluxe edition, right, or any kind of special edition, and it's got 2 extra tracks on there, awesome. Maybe a bonus track and a live track. Cool. Yeah, I'm down for that, right? But today, I don't know if you listen to the Smashing Pumpkins very much, Hamby, do you?
What, a new album?
No. Just do you listen to the Smashing Pumpkins?
I know they're like hits, but
okay.
I've never
So got that track called, like, what is it called, like 1975 or something, 1978 or whatever. It's a really good track. Like, I really like that. So what I do at the moment is if I listen to a track I like, I put the album into a playlist, and I work my way through those albums, and if they're good, they go into my main playlist. And so I was like, okay, well, it's off an album called Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I was like, it looks as if, according to Spotify, all of their best songs are off this album. I'll listen to the whole album, because I've only ever heard a few random tracks. Like, I'll listen to the whole album, Slammed it in there, and I saw the amount of tracks jumped up by loads. And I was like, what the hell? Scroll down, right? Guess how many fucking discs are on this album?
4 disco.
No. It's
More?
a 5 disco, bro.
5 discs.
I do not want to listen to 5 discs of different versions and live versions and all sorts of fucking, oh, this is so-and-so's edit and so-and-so's edit. It's like, no, man, give me the album.
So it's not just 5 discs of new songs. It's just literally 5 discs of different edits.
They're not new songs, man. This album came out in like 1990.
No. I mean it's not just 5, as in like each disc is like.
No, they're not all completely different tracks. They're like, there's a lot of different tracks, but there's so many duplicates on there and live versions of it and stuff, and it's genuinely like, that's too much, right? The annoying thing is with Spotify is that album, the non-deluxe version of that album, is not on there. So you've only got the 5 disc special edition thing, right? And I don't care how good your song is, right? If it's amazing, I'll listen to it maybe twice, maybe 3 times on the album with different edits and things. I'm not going to listen to 5 discs worth of your
The thing is, though, if you were like a massive Smashing Pumpkins fan and they were like your favourite band, you would love that.
I think you would love it until you got to the end of disc 3, and then you'd be done.
You'd be like, this is the best thing ever. Like, there's like loads of different versions of the songs.
But by that point, you'll listen to the same song like 5 to 6 times.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
With multiple songs. Like, I think it's enough to turn even a... Like, if the Chili Peas released that, and they were like, oh, this is deadmau5's edit. Oh, this is Kavinsky's edit. This is so-and-so's edit. You know, Moshmellow's edit. I couldn't, man. Can't listen to the same song that many times. Like, no. Like I said, I get a 2-disc special edition with a load. Maybe I even understand a whole second disc of extra stuff, but not 5 discs is ridiculous, man. It's too much. So they need to stop. Whoever thought that was a good idea, and I've seen it on not just the Smashing Pumpkins album, but other ones as well. They need to stop it. It's got to be stopped. And it's a shame because like there's a lot of good tracks on there, but I literally was like, I'm done. I'm done with this whole band after this. I'm not listening to it now. 5 discs. Okay, we're getting to the end of my points. We're getting to the end of the points. Next little point, and I spoke to you about this a little bit, and we've said it in other podcasts, so maybe we can sort of briefly, we can quickly like gloss over this. Franchises for franchises' sake need to stop being made. Now, as soon as I said this, you went, like the Fast films, and I was like, hell yes, man, like the Fast films.
Yeah, exactly like the Fast films. Yeah. And like,
yeah,
we were talking about it with Adam the other week.
We were,
like, there's so many of them now that like I can't actually remember for sure what I got up to. Like, I think I'm on maybe 5, but I'm not sure.
I think I listened to an episode back, and I think we came to the conclusion that both you and Adam, the last one you saw was the 5th one. But
I'm not even sure about that. That's the thing. I'm not sure about that. I might have even seen the odd one not in order.
Yeah.
They're all exactly the same. And because they're always on like TV, you know, around Christmas and stuff, they're always on. So you're like, oh, I'll stick it on. So I'll watch like 30 minutes of like Fast 7. It's like, no idea what's going on.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Paul Walker. I think he was great. I actually kind of like the early Fast films, but yeah, they blend into like one massive thing, and like it's just too much. It's too much. It's almost like, I don't know. Well, like I said, we spoke about it before. We don't need to go on about it again. Yeah. But those sort of franchises need to stop.
So what are the ones you think?
Because also they're not. The thing with those Fast films is they haven't been critically received in ages.
No.
So they're coming out and people think they're crap, right? And they're still making them. That's the thing. Like,
I guess
nobody's watching them.
I don't know. Who must be? Must be like. I don't know. Yeah. What other franchises do you think then?
I think it's almost getting there with some of these superhero franchises.
Yeah. Well,
especially some of the ones that aren't doing great. Like, for example, everybody wants DC to go independent away from Warner Brothers because the DC films, like, are there any good ones?
There's not. No. Yeah, there are some. Not many though. Yeah.
Not many. And they're making them new films with the same characters that it's already proven that like we don't like these characters. The audience doesn't like the characters, but they're still bringing films out with them in it.
Yeah.
You know.
The best DC movies have been the ones that have been like things like Joker and things, the ones that have been like sort of standalone, like nitty-gritty, ones like that. That's what in my opinion, that's what DC do pretty well actually.
Yeah.
Like movies like that, even some of the obviously Batman, the Dark Knight and all that kind of thing.
The Dark Knight trilogy.
They're all really, really good movies, or pretty good movies. Yeah. I feel like that's what they do well. They don't know. Yeah. From what I've seen of them, where they try and,
which is why, to be fair, I know we shat on Batman earlier. Like, it looks like a good film, right? And I think it is actually going. Hopefully, it's going to be very good. I mean, apparently they screened a 4-hour version of that film, and people were like loving it. They were just like, it's a bit too long, but we love it. It got really popular reactions, and the fact that they actually screened a 4-hour screening to test audiences means that they're pretty confident in like what they've got. I think it's going to be a good film. Like,
Yeah.
but it's supposed to be a standalone thing. But no doubt, if it does well, they'll tie it into something.
Yeah. I part of me hopes it's like a standalone thing, because then it's like, okay, that's like one single movie and it's good, and you don't have to follow it up with anything.
If they don't make it a standalone thing, it's going to get really confusing, because they've already confirmed that Michael Keaton is coming back as the DC universe's Batman. Like, he's going to be Batman. He's going to be Batman for probably a few films. So it's going to be so confusing. Like, I know a lot of these films these days are all leaning into this whole multiverse thing. I mean, you've got two big multiversal films coming out soon on both sides. Marvel, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, and the Flashpoint movie coming out. But it's going to get confusing to the average moviegoer when you've got two versions of Batman in two different films going on at the same time, you know?
Yeah. No, I completely understand what you mean. Yeah, I think superhero movies in general. Yeah, I've always.
Well, I am planning on having an episode. I've got the episode planned. I just haven't got who to guest host it with me yet. But we are going to have an episode fairly soon, hopefully, on superhero fatigue. You know, and just when to say you're done with it.
Yeah. I've gonna,
because it's coming. It is coming up. I think for everyone, it's coming.
As somebody who's never been 100% on them, I've already felt that way. But like, that said, there are movies that come out even recently, like the Spider-Man movie, that I have genuinely enjoyed. But
I think it'll get to the point, where like the average cinema goer will go to the cinema for standout ones like Spider-Man and stuff, but they won't give a shit about every single one. You know?
Well, yeah. I remember like when between like Infinity War and Endgame and things, and like we were going to the cinema like to watch every single new Marvel movie that came out, and some of them were absolute trash, like Captain Marvel and stuff, and like we were going because like almost like we had to, and like that's just like, what the hell?
We did.
This movie's crap.
The only one I think is pretty trash is actually the Eternals, and I went to go see. We weren't going to go see it, and then like last minute, I was like, let's just go to like a shitty small screen cinema, spend a $5, get a free ticket, and let's just go see Eternals, purely so we have the setup for the new Spider-Man. That was the whole reason we went to see it, and it wasn't a great film.
No.
But yeah, big franchises for franchise sake need to stop. Now, Hamby, I've got one last point. And it's pretty vague, actually. I've got one example, but it's pretty vague. Let's see if you can think of a few extra things. So, I put down something that needs to just stop is overused video game tropes. Now, my example for this, which I think is the most overused and just plain lazy, is when you're in a game, and not so much for the earlier games, but for newer games. You're in a game and you've got some sort of enhanced vision mode where you can see targets through walls and stuff. It's just boring, man. It's been done so many times. I get, the first Assassin's Creed games, like, oh, you've got this extra sense, you can do that, right? But, like, it's almost a thing now with, like, every game has got a mode where you hold RB or LB or something, and you then go into this vision mode. And they they write it into the story, so maybe you're Batman and he's got detective vision, or maybe you're Hitman and he's just got, I don't know, fucking good senses or something, and he can see through walls.
Yeah.
But it's just so old. It needs to stop. They need to think of new stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But the thing that I always think is like, is the grapple hook. Like so many games have a grapple hook. Like, and I kind of think like one of the first ones to do it was the Just Cause games. Yeah. And then like loads of other games after that like went and copied it.
Yeah, like granted, it's a cool mechanic, but nobody else does it as good as Just Cause. So just leave it. Just think of something else. Like I think that maybe the new Halo game would have been cool. Like, granted, a jetpack or a jump boost is also an overused trope, right? But maybe something like that, like maybe some sort of super quick dash or something would have been better than Halo's grapple hook.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, although a lot of people love it, I really don't like the new grapple hook in the latest
I used
Halo
it as like a weapon. I was just going around shooting people with it. Like...
Yeah, I was just launching myself at people, and smacking them.
I wasn't using it as it was intended. Well, maybe it wasn't intended that way,
but I mean, I'm in that game. I'm running around. I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing it, and it's going. No, we can't do it. You can't do it. You can't connect to that surface. You can't connect to that. What the fuck is the point in a grapple hook if I can't fucking connect to the surfaces and stuff?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
But no, one of the game that I thought I played the most recently that had this like vision thing was the Hitman games. Now, I'm a newbie to the Hitman games. I've never played them really up until this year, where I played 1, 2, and 3 of the new ones, and I really enjoyed them. They're great games, very fun, visually amazing, very cool, right? But yeah, if you push a button, your guy can see through walls, and like there's no explanation for this other than like he's got crazy good senses. But like it almost makes it like not too easy, because without it would be very hard. But like, why should a guy? How you can't see through walls in real life. Like, why can he do that? They should have just made it so that you can't, because then it would have led to occasions where you're like walking and you walk around a corner and you walk into your target or something, And in that situation, it would have been much more like, like get out of there, like, than just being able to be like, because at the beginning of the Hitman game, as soon as you're loaded into a level, it tells you got your own way to do it, but it literally just says, here's the level, kill the targets. If you hold LB, no matter where you are on the map, you can see where your targets are. Even if they're in a building on the other side of the map, you can see a little red outline walking around. Too easy, man.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Just overdone. Like it even got boring in the Assassin's Creed games, and they're the ones who I feel like they obviously didn't start it, but like they're the ones I associate with it the most because of the whole eagle vision thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure. I mean, Far Cry probably has it. Pretty much every Ubi game probably has the sort of vision mode.
All the Ubisoft games, it's very kind of like they've got a very set formula.
We've spoken about it on the podcast before. The Ubisoft formula. I guess that also needs to stop.
Yeah.
And then other games need to stop. Other games that aren't Ubisoft need to stop doing the Ubisoft
like
formula.
Halo.
Like Halo. Yeah. Halo Cry 5, 6, or whatever it is. Hamby, have you got any other like little video game tropes that you can think of immediately? I know you're on the spot there, but
no. I've got nothing else. That was pretty funny actually.
Yeah,
those two things. Now it's
vision mode.
Yeah,
just sucks, man. Just come up with something else. Like I say, at least it's cooler in Batman that it's like, he's got a gadget that he puts on which lets him see the heartbeats through the walls and stuff. Like that's at least cooler. But then to just say, they've got this sight, they've got the sight, they've got the skill, they can just do it. It's like, okay, bit crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was our list of things that need to just stop. Now, if you can think of anything else that needs to just stop, send us an email, dudewutpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram @dudewutpodcast.
No one say you can
send us. You what? Sorry.
I said no one say your podcast.
Yeah. Just to be fair, I was going to say actually earlier in this, we need to just stop talking about dogs in every goddamn podcast. But I think we've done pretty good today. I mentioned Zephyr like once, and you mentioned Hervey like once, so we're good. Speakpipe.com/DudeWutPodcast. Send us a voice message on there. Let us know what you think needs to stop. Facebook.com/DudeWutPodcast, I guess. I can never remember how you do it on Facebook. What you can do is just go on linktree.com/DudeWutPodcast, and you will get the links to all of our sites, all of our places you can listen to us. You'll just get all that. And if you really love the podcast, one thing that would actually help a lot, but you genuinely don't have to, is you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/DudeWutPodcast, and you can donate, I don't know, like £1. I think it lets you do up to £3, but you can donate £1 our way. Every £1 that you donate basically just goes towards the general running of this pod and equipment and stuff like that. So, yeah, do that if you want. Feel free. Damn, bro. I can't think of anything else.
No,
I think
you should wrap it up.
I think we should wrap it up. Yeah, it's this ep's coming in about 20 minutes short of the usual eps.
Yeah.
So let us know. Also, let me know what you think. Right? Should I make the eps like as close to an hour as possible, or are you all happy with them being like an hour and 40 or something? Because when I'm listening to a podcast, I actually love it to be a long one. So an hour and a half to an hour and 40 is actually really good for me to listen to. That is, but if it's boring for you, let us know. We can condense the shit. We can do that. So just let us know. Yeah, Hamby man, it's been great having you on, bro. Hopefully you'll be on maybe the next DWP stream on Friday. Don't know what we're playing yet.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be cool, man. And hopefully there will be another episode of DWP Dude What Podcast coming next Tuesday. Don't know who's going to be on it yet. Don't know what it's going to be about, but it's probably going to be a good one. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Hamby, man, it's been great having you on, bro. I think we are going to leave it there. And, yeah.
Happy days. Right. Yeah.
Chill out. Everybody, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
See you later.